Welcome to Our Life in Books, where we talk about our lives, books, and everything in between. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Samantha, and we're cousins.
Yay!
Yay! Today I am drinking gingerbread tea from Adagio. It is my favorite tea of 2018. I have almost drank my entire new pouch that I got. And it's the second pouch I've bought. So I need to really just buy the giant
big one.
Yeah, I just need to do it.
The big ones are worth it.
They're huge, too.
I've almost finished my very first big pouch. It was like Scottish breakfast or something. And it's what I always have on the weekends, like in the morning. And anytime that I'm like, I really need that black tea boost.
Yeah.
So it's getting down there.
What are you drinking? What's your favorite tea of 2018?
My favorite is Sweet Pipe Leaf. This is one that was blended by Riddle's Tea Shop. It used to be on Adagio, and I'm pretty sure she sells it in her own shop now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it should be on riddlesteashop.com. 2 P's and an E at the end of shop. But so it should be on there. Someday. Or it's still on Adagio. I guess I didn't research before the show. That's where I bought it last, but I think she's moving all of her teas.
Yeah, she's pretty big now.
Yeah, so that's my favorite tea. It's a green tea, and it's got, like, cranberries, and it's just really tasty.
Yeah, it is really good, and obviously gingerbread has ginger.
And bread.
Well, when I got here today, Elizabeth was almost finished with her book she's reading.
Yes, so I'm reading The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I got the Arc of the Wicked King, which is book 2. So I was like, well, I guess I better read the first one first. And I'm flying through it. It's so good.
Really?
So I've heard this before, and I agree. Holly Black is the queen of fairy. Like, anything. So I read the Spiderwick Chronicles with the boys. And it's like a middle grade series. She wrote it, and then, oh gosh, I can't think of the other author with her. I think he helped write it, and he drew all the pictures for it. But so it's reminding me of that in like all the rules of fairy. And like how fairies can't enchant you if you have your clothes on backwards. Or, like, there's all these rules.
Really?
Yeah. But so this book is it's so good. It's about Jude. She is a twin, and she's got an older sister. And, like, when the book starts, I think they're both 6. The twins are 6. And she is living a pretty normal life with her mom and her dad, but she knows that her older sister is a little different. She's got, like, pointy ears and some fur on her ears, and her eyes look like cat eyes, and she's just a little different. And then one day, like, this book is very violent. There's a lot of deaths.
Really?
So, little trigger warning real quick.
That's crazy.
But so she's 6 years old, and one day this man comes to the door and ends up killing both of her parents and whisks her and her sisters off to fairy. And that's where they grow up. And so
that's crazy. But she's not fairy.
She's not. Her and her twin sister are not, but their older sister is
Oh,
half.
Okay.
So, and this man is her older sister's real father. And so he raises them in fairy. And so, like, Jude wants to fit in, but also doesn't because she knows how terrible fairies are. And her sister just really just wants to blend in, like her twin sister. And then the older sister wants to go back to...
Really?
Yeah. So it's just so good. Oh, my God. Like, but like I said, it's so violent. Like, everyone dies. So get ready for that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That starts out with just like, I'm going to murder your parents and then take you away.
Then, like, chapter 1... Here, let me grab it. Because chapter 1 is my favorite first chapter in a book ever. Hold on. Give me a second. Right here. Chapter 1. In fairy, there are no fish sticks, no ketchup, no television. That's chapter 1.
That's great.
And her writing is just so
Well, now I'm going to have to pick it up and read it.
It's so good.
Because we've had that book for a while.
And you've got 2 copies.
Yes, I do.
So what are you reading?
I am reading the Savin series by Siobhan Davis.
Is this the one you were telling me about?
Yes, this is the one. So she writes romance, and then she also writes sci-fi fantasy. And I was like, oh, I should give these a try, and they're really good. There's obviously a little bit of romance because a lot of sci-fi and fantasies do.
Yeah, but
they're so good. There's so many different intricate alien species and rules and like languages, and it's so interesting. And like things keep happening that I wouldn't see coming, kind of, and it keeps getting deeper.
Isn't she really
and
good
deeper.
about that though?
Yeah,
is like the twists.
But like it keeps getting deeper and deeper into it, and then you it's kind of like I'm in book 3, and in the beginning it's like crazy because she had all of this planned. So now I'm like looking back and being like, oh, that's why. Oh, that's why. Oh, that's why. It's all making sense. But then like also things are getting answered, but then there's more questions as well. So it's just all very interesting.
Oh my goodness. How many books are in the series?
I think there is 5. Yeah, I think there's 5. Yeah. So I'm on book 3 and I'm very excited to read the rest. And I'm very impressed with it. And I think she has some like little like 0.5 books in there as well to like fill in information.
Did you read those too?
I haven't because I kind of just started rage reading the Sacred series, and then I want you to get excited because I'm gonna start
Shadow and Bone.
Yep.
Grisha trilogy.
Yep.
Oh my God. Trilogy. When though? When?
After I'm done with this, so I'm pretty sure I'll be done with this in like a couple days. Not even a couple days, and then I am going to start it because I need to figure out what's going on.
Oh my God.
I feel like Christmas is gonna be like the best time to like binge.
Yes. And I feel like that series I think it has some kind of Christmas scene in it.
Really?
I have a candle from the Melting Library, and it's called Christmas at the Winter Palace, and it's based on that book, or that series, I guess. So, yes.
What are you planning to read after that?
That is a great question. Oh, The Wicked King.
Yeah, The Wicked King.
2. Yeah. I was like, don't do this to me. Don't spring this on me.
I was like, you're not going to read the second one?
I have to look at my spreadsheet to find out what I read next.
See, I didn't request hardly anything for December because I knew I wanted to start the Christian trilogies.
I don't know how to stop. I have a problem.
I haven't gone on NetGalley in a long time.
I haven't. It's been a while. But listen, they send emails and they're like, you should request this book. So I'm like, okay.
I will. Thank you. And then you forward it to me. Request this book.
I'm my God. And then I get emails that's like, hey, you've been accepted to read this book. And I'm like, I don't even remember requesting that.
But thanks.
What did I do? Oh, it was not good.
It's never good. So what new releases are this week?
So there's not a lot because as the year winds down, I think they're kind of like, everything is winding down.
Exactly.
But so I found this one. It's called The Disasters by M.K. England. It's a YA science fiction.
Ooh.
It just sounds really good. It's about a boy. I think it's a boy. Oh gosh, I don't know if it even says. Well, a person named Nax Hall. And it does say he. Okay, it's a boy. It says he has a history of making poor life choices. He is on a space station and gets kicked out within the first 24 hours. And on his way back to Earth after he gets kicked out, he and like the other people who are getting kicked out watch a terrorist group attack. And so they see all this and then they're blamed for it.
No.
Yeah, so it sounds really good.
That sounds so good.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll leave a link so you can go check out the actual synopsis. Yeah. Other than just us going, it's so good.
It sounds so good. Let's go read it. Yeah.
But the cover's really pretty too because it's purple and there's not a lot of purple books.
No.
I need more purple
and
books
we love
in my life.
Pretty cover.
Yeah.
Well, we did our live show today.
We did.
A little later, like 7:30. We got distracted.
Start aiming for 7:30.
Yeah, I think we're gonna move it back to 7:30 because we talk a lot and then we get distracted by things and then
7 is really optimistic.
Yeah. So 7:30 we did our mailbag this week. Owl Crate.
Yeah.
It was so great. The theme was Power of Illusions.
Yes. And it's the December Owl Crate.
Yes, the December Owl Crate. And my favorite thing of it was we got this cool book planner.
Yeah, like a bookish planner.
Bookish planner. And so it has like what reviews, what you want to read, how you rate things, like make sure to put like your TBR and when you want to read stuff. It's so neat. And I know you have a planner like this.
I do. I have a bookish planner. But the difference is the one we got in Owl Crate, you can fill in the month.
Yes. So it's like whenever you want to do it.
Yeah, you can use it whenever. Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Because I was a little like, oh, what am I going to do? Am I going to use both? Because I already have a 20... Pause?
Yeah, pause. And we're back.
Okay. So yeah, I was a little worried when I saw the planner because I was like, which one am I going to use for 2019? Like I bought one, but I really like this one. But now I can use it whenever.
Exactly. And it's so cute. And then we also got this cute little candle that smells like candy.
So good.
It smells so good. And then your favorite.
What was my favorite? Now I forgot.
The wooden ornament thing.
Oh, yes.
Because I haven't read the series, so I don't understand it.
The ornament is based on the Crowns Game series by Evelyn Skye. I couldn't even tell you what exactly it is about that series that I love so much, but I love it. And she became one of my auto-buy authors because of it.
Oh, really?
I think that was her debut series. And she's the one with the new series coming out next year called something Shadows. Oh, shoot. Anyways, it's the one about ninjas. We talked about it in a couple episodes ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one sounded so good.
Oh, gosh. I don't remember what it's called. But anyhow, yes. So the ornament was based on the Crowns Game.
Yeah, it's so cute. I was so impressed with this box, like always. And they had like a bag, and there's a signed book in there. Not just a book play, a signed book. It's so amazing. And the book sounds amazing.
And the tote bag, too.
Yes, the tote bag.
Oh,
there's so much stuff for how cheap, how good priced the book is.
Yeah.
Or the book is, the box
The box. Yeah, because it's like $35 with shipping, I think. Something around there.
Exactly.
Which is amazing because, like I've always said, if you bought that planner and a tote bag and a candle and a book and what else came with it? A necklace and a magnet.
And paid for shipping.
Right. If you bought all that stuff separately.
And paid for shipping for all of them.
It would be well over $50.
Exactly.
I don't know how they do it, but they're wizards and they're amazing.
They're very amazing.
Okay, so I did want to tell you about another thing I got in the mail.
Yeah. What is it? I don't trust you now. I'm like, what is it?
I can't remember what the book is called, which, whatever. But it's for, I think it's, oh gosh, now I'm saying a lot of things. It's a PR company that I'm going to post about this book on my Instagram.
Okay.
You'll see it. Anyhow, it was like a promotional box for this book. It's got the book, and I take the book out and I look underneath, and it's got this little card with a note from the author, which is really sweet. But on the one side, it's a picture of a drink, like a holiday drink you can make. And I can't think of what it was called, but one of the ingredients is Fireball.
Yeah.
So I dig deeper into the box, and there's a mini bottle of Fireball.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Plus like little candies, but I was like, I don't remember them asking if I was 21. Like, it was cool and all, but
what if they kind of just like looked into you and was
Fireball.
Oh, thanks, Mom. What's Fireball?
God. So that was interesting. That's
so
like the most
funny.
Interesting promotional box I've ever gotten.
That is hilarious. I was gonna say I saw in our notes Fireball, and I was like, that's why I looked at you like, did you mistype something?
No, I did not.
What is happening?
No, someone sent me Fireball this week with a book. Read and drink Fireball.
It's like, get drunk then.
It was I can't remember what the drink was called, but it was Fireball and like lemon lime soda.
Huh.
Yeah. It might have had something else in it. I don't know. But either way, I was just like,
this is interesting.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Well,
so strange.
I guess we're kind of trying something new this episode where I don't put the weird chats we have in the beginning because really we didn't because technology is evil.
Yeah, we played with, and by we I mean you,
played with the settings because something got messed up.
Forever.
So I thought right now we could just chat a little bit. I wanted to talk about our new Facebook group.
Oh my gosh, yes. How did I forget already? We just created it like half an hour ago. Oh God.
So we you knew how to do it. I'm guessing other people have done this before.
Yeah, I got the idea today, and now I don't remember how. Oh, I know. So we always talk about Martina McGatty.
Yeah.
So
Am I saying it wrong?
It's Mick, A-T-E-E.
McGatty.
T-E, 2 E's, not 3.
But
so we're always talking about her Facebook group, the Deadlings, and she's actually got a podcast too.
Oh,
cool. The title of which we can't say because we would have to make our podcast explicit to say her title.
Oh, good call. We can link it.
Yeah, so we'll link it down below.
We can just link it and call it Martina's podcast.
Yeah, but I don't know why the idea came to me after I saw it in her group, but she created another group just for the podcast. And I was like, that's such a good idea. Even though
Yeah.
I'm in a bunch of groups for podcasts that I listen to, so I don't know why.
But it's nice because we always are like, tweet us or post on Instagram. And we have so many people like doing all the social medias. It'll just be nice to like group everybody into one place.
Right.
So if we have like questions about like what should our next subject be for the podcast, or do you have any ideas, or do
feedback
on
past episodes,
or do you want us to do like more of this, more of that? Do you have ideas for the next nuclear winter episode? Like, it's just gonna be really nice to talk to people,
and it will be, because a lot of the like feedback that I hear is from you. Like, you come and tell me things, and I'm like, oh, you know how cool it'd be to actually interact with these people. Since I don't get to see them.
Exactly.
So I do want you to tell everyone what you walked into work the other day. What you sent me a picture of.
Yeah. So a couple of my coworkers are amazing, and they listen to our podcast. Hello, guys. And the one that works next to me, his name's Bob, and I walked to my door in my office, and there was a piece of paper taped to it that said, "Keep Peter Pettigrew." And I was like, one, it was really early. He gets there an hour early because he's a morning person, and I'm not. And I hadn't had tea, so I didn't understand it. So I just like took the piece of paper and I got into my office, and I was just getting situated because I really had to think, like, what was Peter Pettigrew? And then he walks by and he goes, "He knows all the presidents. Why would you get rid of him?" And I was like, okay, Bob, how are we going to survive a nuclear winter with someone who can name all the presidents? Like,
oh, God.
And I was like, and I don't think he knows Harry Potter. So he doesn't understand why we didn't like Peter Pettigrew. So I was like, well, maybe next time we should maybe explain the characters.
That's true.
Because we kind of assumed that
so
everyone...
many characters, though.
Yeah, but maybe just like give a brief of what they're about, because he had no idea why we hated Peter Pettigrew.
Well, so I got the text with no context at all.
Oh, yeah,
at first, I did the same thing because I was like, what? And then I was like, oh my God, our episode. Keep Peter Pettigrew.
I was like, wait, what? Why would you ever keep Peter Pettigrew?
Oh, coming from someone who works in the museum, that's perfect.
Exactly. I didn't even think about that. And then we had another listener, Leah. She said that she would have voted Umbridge right as soon as she heard it. She didn't need to hear the attributes or anything. And I'm like, I agree.
Fair, but
it's very fair. She's the worst.
I wanted to try.
We tried.
We tried. It didn't work.
She's awful.
She can go right out.
I don't care if she'll save us all. Goodbye. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we get into this episode?
I'm super boring.
This is our last episode of 2018.
It is, yes.
Our 10th episode.
That's crazy.
So exciting.
I can't believe we've been doing this for 10 weeks.
I can't. It doesn't feel like that long, to be honest.
It doesn't. But at the same time, it's gone so... Well, no, that's the same thing, isn't it? Oh my goodness.
The only thing I'm annoyed about is like the tech. Like, we haven't had issues until the last 2 podcasts.
Oh, it's so strange.
It's so strange and frustrating. So that's about it.
And yeah, I don't know. My week.
What are your Christmas plans?
Stay home and not leave the house.
Read.
Yes.
I want to read and eat a lot of food.
I'm making cookies Friday, gingerbread cookies.
With you have to send me some, because I won't see you until...
I'm gonna see you Saturday.
Oh yeah, it's my birthday Saturday. It's my birthday Saturday. I'm turning 30. I'm gonna be old.
Listen. I've been there almost 2 years
some
now.
people in this room.
No. Oh, yeah, we're going to save some, though, for our Christmases.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Yay.
Yay.
And we have some ideas for YouTube. We're actually going to post our first YouTube channel. I don't know YouTube, like, video. We post on there our podcast, but I don't know when that's going to come out. So we'll let you guys know in, like, the groups and the social medias and stuff. But
yeah, I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
I'm
I feel like
nervous.
it's a good one to, like, start off with.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Secrets don't be
Well, for like this episode, we decided to do like our 2018 favorites because we're rounding out the year. We want to like talk about everything before 2019 starts, and the book read, the good.
Our TBRs.
I just broke, yeah. And I was going to say our
out.
Goodreads counts start over again.
Yes.
We look back on all these great books that we read. So we kind of have some categories. Do you want to just go down the list of like all the categories we picked? And keep going?
So do you want me to read them all off?
Yeah, read them all off really quick. So
we kind of just went through and picked categories based on books that we've read this year.
Yeah, exactly. Because if we didn't read a category, I mean...
Well, I forced you into a couple of them, but that's
you did.
okay. Okay, so we've got fantasy, romance, sci-fi, thriller, contemporary, memoir, sequel, dystopian, retellings, anthology, indie authors, debut authors, found authors, and graphic novel.
Yeah, my graphic novel is, I mean, it's pushing it.
That's fine.
I've requested a lot of graphic novels. I just haven't read any.
Yeah. I love them. Like, there's just some really good ones out there. And they're, like, such a quick way to get through a story, but, you know, also have that visual representation.
Yeah, I do love visual representations.
And the artists are amazing.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. All right. First one is fantasy.
Yes.
What's yours?
Fine, I'll go first.
No, I can go first.
Go. You go.
Because I really enjoyed this book and I'm excited to talk about it. Glamour of Midnight by Casey L. Bond. I got this.
I don't think I've heard of this.
I got this on NetGalley. I'm pretty sure. Let me check just to. Yep, I got it on.
Really?
I got it on NetGalley, and I think it was already.
Did you read it at the beginning of the year or something? Like, I don't remember
No.
hearing you talk about this at all.
I think it was one of those I requested, but it had already. It was like they wanted more readers, but it had already been released, and I was like, it looks really cool. Like the cover's like purple, and she's holding like a snake in front of her face. Yeah, purple and blue. It's really pretty. And when I read it, I was like, ooh, this sounds so good. So it's about this 19-year-old girl who has been blind since birth, and she lives next to this town, and they are afraid of this foggy wall, and everyone says like there's fairies behind it, and like they're all afraid of the fae, and they all keep bells around to like scare them off. But everyone's really, really mean to this her name is Karis, Karis, and they're really mean to her. But like her adoptive brothers who found her when she was just found when she was younger, and she's been blind, and so like they take care of her, but like a lot of other people like, you know, are mean to her or whatever like that, and they're all really poor, and so she like tries to take care of them any way she can. And so one day there's like, I think there's like, I can't remember, but one of her brothers goes over the mist, because like they send one person a year to like go in there and try to figure out what's going on or something like that, and somehow one of her brothers goes, and so she decides to follow him. But what she realizes when she goes to follow him is that in the mist she's no longer blind.
Oh my goodness.
And so like then she's like just trying to like help and like try to like figure out what's going on. And then then another side of the story is about a bounty hunter that's in the Fae world, and you know he's searching for Karis, and she went missing, and like and she's like, so basically like how their interaction is, and like who is Kara, so you get to experience like who she is, and like why she was missing and why she's blind in that world. It's really good.
Oh my god!
But it took me by surprise, because I was like, I did not see this coming as like one of my favorite books, but it was amazing. So yeah, go read it.
Holy cow!
Right? I did not expect it to be as good as it was. And when it was over, I was like, but I want more. But I want more.
So is there a sequel, or is it just a standalone?
It's just a standalone. Yeah.
We should have had a category for standalone.
We probably should have. Well, whatever. What's your favorite fantasy of this year?
So mine is The Queens of Innis Lear by Tessa Gratton. So this is a hefty book. This is the longest book I read all year. And I feel like the only reason I can get through these giant books is because I read them as ebooks. So I don't really know how big they are until I see the physical copy. And then I'm like, oh my God, I read that. So I read this one way back in March. So all the details are a little fuzzy, but it was so good. So it's pitched as a retelling of Shakespeare's King Lear, told Game of Thrones style.
Ooh.
And like I was sold there. I mean, I'd never read King Lear.
Yeah.
So I remember I looked it up on SparkNotes and kind of read the brief version of it so I could get an idea. And then I just dove headlong into this book. And so the king's got 3 daughters. They're all very different, and they're all battling. Like not battling because it's not like that, but they all want the crown. They all whatever.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And this is one of those books that like I'm a sucker for books on an island, and especially when the island is a character in the book.
Ooh,
and that's how this was. Like the island that they live on is not living, but kind of
alive in certain aspects.
It's so good. Like I said, it's huge. It's like 600 some pages.
What's the cover like?
So it's got a crown and then like two hands holding it up.
Ooh,
it's so pretty.
I love covers.
I love it. And so of course I read the ebook, the ARC, and then I ordered the physical copy because I needed it in my collection.
Yeah, that sounds good. It reminds me a little bit of Three Dark Crowns and Four Dead Queens. Like, yeah, I really enjoy that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just like anytime like a synopsis or whatever, if it's got an island that's like also a character, I'm like, okay, all right, give it to me. I need it right now. So that was my favorite fantasy.
That sounds so good.
Yeah.
Well, next is romance,
which I don't read a ton of.
No, you don't. You've been getting better. I've been
have.
bringing you over. Come on. It's okay. Yeah. We'll take care of you.
Oh my God. You go first.
Okay. Well, this was especially hard for me to pick because I read so many. Mm-hmm. So I kind of just went with one that like I'd been wanting to read for a very long time and I finally had a chance to read.
Yeah.
And it was just for fun. It wasn't because I had to read for somebody or anything like that. And it's called Easy by Tamara Weber. And I can't remember where or why I wanted this book, but it's one of the ones I like ordered on Book Outlet. Mm-hmm. And I think I just heard like all the good reviews about it. And it's basically set in, I think it's a new adult. Yep, it's new adult romance. Ooh. And it's set in college. And this girl is basically, I don't want to give too much away, but she's new on campus and she's a freshman and she gets attacked. And this guy she doesn't know saves her. And they become kind of friends. But then she also starts a pen pal relationship with this student aide in one of her teacher's classes. And they get along so well and they connect on so many levels. So she's like, it's just basically her trying to figure out, you know, college for the first time, trying to deal with the attack because she hasn't said anything and she still sees him everywhere. And it's a really good, and the romance aspect is kind of like friends to romance, which is really nice. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed it. And he's like, you know, like the emo, like dark, scared, you know, like whatever, like cute, like definitely our like MySpace type. Yeah. Reminds me a lot of MySpace.
Oh God.
And this was written back in 2012.
Oh, okay.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. I don't think that there's any trigger warnings, but there might be. So check it out on Goodreads before you read it if you have that. But I just really enjoyed the story.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, it's really good.
There's not a lot of like college
stories. And I think that's why I really liked it is because I hadn't read any college romances before that. So I think that was the book that turned me into new adult.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that was a genre, but I really enjoy new adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. What romance did you choose?
So I feel like I'm cheating a little bit.
Oh no, here we go.
So it's called Amid Stars and Darkness by Cheney Lynn Feener. It's it's the first book in the Zenith trilogy. It's a sci-fi, but it's got some romance.
Okay. You cheated.
Listen, I loved this book. It's about this girl. She lives on Earth, and I think they know that aliens exist. I think
aliens do exist.
I'm pretty sure they know that aliens exist.
Yeah.
I forget because I'm getting this mixed up with The Darkest Star now, but because I read this back in February.
Oh.
So anyway, I got the arc of it from Swoon Reads. They sent me this with like a bunch of fun stuff surrounding the book. But anyway, so this girl, Delaney, is just living her life, and she gets mistaken for a princess, an alien princess. Mm-hmm. And the alien princess, her bodyguards think that Delaney is her and take her to the ship and blah, blah, blah. And so this is like her trying to, first of all, explain to them she's not who they think she is.
Yeah.
And then they want her to be like the body double.
Yeah.
Especially until they get the real princess back, because they don't want anyone to know that they messed up.
Oh.
And so it ends on a cliffhanger, which is really sad.
Is the second
book is out, and the third one comes out
next year.
It might be next month even. But sometime next year.
Because I think you lent me this book.
Probably.
Because it sounds real familiar,
It's
but I
so
haven't read
good.
it.
But so there is a romance with her and one of the alien dudes.
Love me some romance. I'm silently golf clapping right now because I love a romance.
So it's really good. And so that was my favorite romance, even though it's a lot of sci-fi.
That's okay. I actually, one of my favorite genres is sci-fi, weirdly enough. Well, I forgot to say, what does the cover look like? The cover for Easy is just this guy with long, dark hair, and he's cupping the girl's
Emo?
face. Yeah, emo. Emo AF. My spacing it up.
Amid Stars and Darkness, the cover has got like that galaxy swirl.
Ooh, okay.
And then like a girl looks like she's flying through space.
Ooh, what color? Pinks.
Blues.
Ooh, blues.
Yeah, blues.
Nice.
And a little like the yellow in the
Okay,
center
I feel
of
like
the
all
swirl.
these books you're talking about, I'm just like, okay, add this one to your TBR list. Add this one to your TBR list.
Yes.
Okay, well, cheater. Next one, sci-fi.
Yeah.
You're like, don't worry, I've got 5 more for sci-fi.
Oh my gosh, I just saw something about the book I'm going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to go or do you want to go?
You go.
Okay. So my favorite sci-fi is called Lifelike by Jay Kristoff.
But it's like spelled weird.
Yeah. So it's Life L1KE. So
3?
Lifelike. I mean 3. I meant 3.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like I'm looking at the same notes
Oh my
as
God.
you, and that's wrong.
Anyway, so and it's by Jay Kristoff. So let me refresh my brain. So I really, really loved it. It's got robots, like really adorable little robots that like have a mind of their own.
Like Wall-E?
And they're so sweet. So the beginning reminded me of Big Hero 6. How they have the bot fights.
Yeah.
Because that's how it starts out, is the girl in the bot fight. I'm trying to remember what happens after that.
So are there humans?
Or
is it like is it like a car scenario where the robots are the only thing there?
The main girl is or the main character is Eve. She's a human. But I just remember there being so many twists. I think she's got 2 robot friends that follow along with her.
Are robots like pets? Or robots like humans?
Kind of. She's got one that's a pet, that's a dog. That's like a
my
dog
God,
robot.
yeah.
And then one that's like a friend. Say her servant, but yeah, like a friend. Like I think he's lived with them forever.
Like Hero 6.
Yeah,
okay.
And I think she lives with her grandfather. I'm really sorry. It's been a while since I read this, but it's so good.
Is there romance?
I don't think there is. I don't think there's any romance at all. But there's so many twists. Like you get to the end and you're like, wait, what?
Really?
What?
Is it a standalone?
Everything I thought was a lie. What?
Is it a standalone?
No.
Oh,
so that's what I was just looking at. The next book is called Deviate.
Ooh.
And it's like that too, where the I is a 1 and the E is a 3. So the first one, the cover looks like a honeycomb kind of.
Oh, really?
Like a honeycomb design.
Okay, yeah.
And yellow. And then the second one is pink, a pink honeycomb.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've heard a lot of good things about Jay Kristoff. He also wrote...
Yeah, the name sounds familiar.
The Nevernight Chronicles.
Oh, yep, okay.
Which I have the first
I have
2
the
books.
first one, I think.
But I haven't gotten to them. And
I know.
I keep hearing so many good things about him, and then I read this and I was like, oh my God, yep. I need to read
I
everything
totally
he's
get
ever
it.
written.
Yeah, I do that too, where I'm like, what else have you written?
He's also one of the authors of Illuminae Files.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just bought that. I was going through it when I was taking pictures on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to read that.
I know.
But I promised you I would read the Grisham thing. But after that, I'm going to read that book because I was just because I think I was looking for like Matt Monday picture, and I was like just looking because I got distracted. And I was like, this looks so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know it was written by multiple authors.
Yeah, it's him and oh shoot,
And what is it called?
Illuminae.
I
Files.
can't say it right, so that's why I wanted you to say it. So yeah, if everyone listening, that's another one that's like Elizabeth and I are gonna read.
Here,
eventually.
Let me look who the other author is, because she's amazing too.
I didn't know it was written by 2 authors. That's really neat.
I know, isn't that so cool?
I love when people collab.
Okay, Dead Air. This is great.
Good talk. I don't have anything to say. Just kidding.
Amy Kaufman.
Oh, Amy Kaufman. I don't think I've heard of her.
Okay, so that is my sci-fi. What is yours?
It. My sci-fi is what you mentioned earlier, The Darkest Star by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Because I've been waiting for this book forever. I read the Lux series, I don't remember when, but I remember I was like rage reading it. I remember telling you about it. And so when she actually came out with the origin #1, The Darkest Star, I was so excited, and it was way better than I expected because I just loved the characters, and I wanted to know more about what happened to them.
Yeah.
You need to read the Lux series.
I know.
So you can understand what's happening in my brain right now.
I need to get the ebooks so I can binge them because I feel like
I checked them out from the library. You should check them out from the library.
Ebooks so much faster.
On the Overdrive app?
I don't have it. I need a library card. I'm a bad reader. Stop looking at me like that. I don't have a library card.
Judgment in my eyes.
Listen, you have to talk to people to get a library card, okay?
Well, Montezuma changed their library cards, and mine doesn't work anymore, so I don't have to drive to Montezuma and get a new one.
Oh, that's annoying.
Because I always have one from both places.
Honestly,
Anyway,
what's terrible is I work like a block and a half from a library.
you could get a library
I
card.
could, but I haven't.
You walk to Quick Start to get food? I'm going to shame you on this podcast.
Girl, Quick Start is like 10 feet from our back
Oh my
door.
God, I love Quick
I
Start.
don't have to cross the street. To get to the library, I have to cross 2 streets.
2. I might run into people.
Maybe 3. It might be whatever.
Okay, so The Darkest Star, we talked about it in a previous podcast, so I won't go too much into
we both
it.
were reading it at the
Yes,
time.
we were, and I was like real upset because you didn't even know what's going on. You got accepted for the arc, and I didn't, so I had to rage pre-order it. But it was so good. Thoughts without spoiling it on the ending? Do you remember?
No.
Good talk.
I'm so sorry. I read too many books. I don't remember things.
I think there's gonna be more. Basically, it was cliffhangery. And
Oh, yeah. We looked up the second one.
yeah, we did.
Mhm.
I don't remember.
Burning.
Yep.
Right? Burn.
The Burning Shadow.
Burn.
Yes,
I'm
and
right.
I think it's gonna be another series. The burn. Feel the burn.
Something burn. Bernie?
And I think it's gonna be like the Lux series, so it's gonna go through. And I hope that we kind of saw. You wouldn't know, but we got to see the other characters from the Lux series, which is really interesting.
His friends.
Yes, I had explained it to you.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. So that's my sci-fi, and I don't know if I've ever explained the cover, but The Darkest Star is so pretty. It goes from a dark teal at the bottom to a light teal, and it has floating stars going up, and it's white floating stars. It's so pretty. So that I had to pick that because I've been waiting for so long. Well, the next section is thriller.
Yes.
And I really don't read a lot because I'm a scared cat.
I read so many thrillers.
I don't know how you do it.
Don't
you have nightmares?
No, not at all. Honestly, I was thinking about that. If anyone's got recommendations for a horror book that might actually scare me, I want to hear it.
Yes,
because I have not actually, I've never read a book that frightened me.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. I can watch a show and be freaked out, or a movie or something and hear sounds and be freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
But reading, I just have not gotten scared
Really?
yet. And I
kind of we didn't add horror because
No.
one, I don't read that.
I read a couple horror
The
books.
last one I think I read was I don't remember the author, but it was about this group of kids who got snowed in, and there was a guy with a ski mask, and that was when I was younger.
Yeah.
So I was terrified, and I haven't read a horror since.
I'm trying to think. I know I read 2 horrors.
So yeah, people, please give her something to scare
me. I need it. I really do.
But don't scare me. I would like all the happiness and the romance books, please. I want examples for romance.
I'm going to talk about
and
one
sci-fi.
of them later. One of the horror books that I read, because it falls into another category.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one I read was Murder Trending.
Oh, I remember you reading that. I remember the cover.
And it's satire horror, so it doesn't really count. But yeah, okay, so back to thrillers.
Yep, sorry.
So I did read a lot of thrillers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, do you want to go first?
You can go first because this is one, I'm going to read this one. It's just, I'm scared.
Okay, so I picked You by Caroline Kepnes.
Yeah.
It's just so terrible and interesting, and
really,
he what's his name? What's the main character's name? Do you remember it?
It's on the tip of my brain. I keep just thinking of the actor.
I'm making a lot of sounds right now.
I keep thinking of the actor. Oh
Joe.
my gosh.
Joe.
Yes, Joe.
So Joe meets Guinevere Beck, but she goes by Beck. He meets her in a bookstore and becomes obsessed with her. And starts stalking her on social media and finds out where she's going to be so he can be there, and just keeps making these chance encounters, chance in quotes.
Yeah.
And finally gets her to date him, but he's still stalking her, and it's creepy, and he just does a lot of like really not okay things.
Yeah.
But it's just so good because you're in his head the whole time.
So you hear what he's thinking, and he talks like because I started reading it.
Yeah. And so I read somewhere or heard them, maybe it was when we saw them talk about it at BookCon somewhere, but it's called You because like it's just Joe the whole time talking to Beck. Like, you are doing this to me. You're making me feel this way. It's all about you. It's about her. So it's just, it just makes you feel creepy.
Yeah, and I remember when she was talking about it, she said that she did the things that like we read about in normal romance books that happen because I think he's a big reader, right? And so he wants those things to happen, so he orchestrates them.
And they also talked about how like, you know, like Prince song about how like that obsession and that love and everyone acts like they want that. But then
when they get it, it's like,
you see it on the page, it's like, it's not okay.
That's not okay. That's not real.
No. And then another thing they mentioned too in the talk was like, we're putting so much on social media. Like, it's not hard for someone to stalk us.
As we just were like, go follow our Facebook group. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people at least are getting better at putting what they want people to see and not everything. I don't think it's safe to put everything, like your address, your phone number. Like, don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
And, like, don't say where you're going to be either.
Yeah. Like, I do picture, like, I'll take a picture of, like, what I'm doing, but I won't post it till later.
Yeah.
Like, I don't instantly Snapchat a lot of things just because, one, I like to take a picture with my nice camera instead of, like, the Snapchat app. But it's just not safe to do that. Or, like, tag where you're at. It's just you gotta think about those things now.
Even if you're careful, sometimes it's
I mean, to be completely honest, like if you give me a name, I can probably figure out a lot about them.
Yeah,
that's just me, and I'm like not like.
I think we're all just banking on the fact that no one's got the time,
or that
you know what I mean.
No one cares about us that much to do that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm banking on.
So yes, You by Caroline
and then
Kepnes.
The cover, what's it look like? Can you describe it?
So
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Paperback that I have anyhow is like a blurry girl. Like you can just see kind of like the back of her head and her shoulder.
What color is it?
Blue.
Like
dark blue.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I also have the movie or the TV show cover now too that's got Penn Badgley's face.
Yes.
That's
the only confusing thing about the TV show. It's because he's so good looking, and I'm like, I love him. No, I don't like him, but I do like him.
But I think that's what she wanted. That's
that
what
is
the author
exactly
wanted.
What she wanted.
She's like, he is an attractive man, but that doesn't make him okay.
Exactly. She wants to mess with us. I haven't watched it. I'll read it, and then we have to watch it together.
Yeah, we need to binge it.
And then we can talk about it.
Yeah. So what was your favorite thriller?
So my favorite thriller was Castaways by Tara Brown. I read this as part of a tour. Couldn't tell you what off the top of my head. But it was kind of one that it's a suspense. It's not really a thriller, but this is the closest I've got. So it's this girl, she's an actress, and she her and a couple of friends go on a yacht going partying. I don't know, whatever rich people do. And her name is Lizzie, and all of a sudden they get marooned on this island, and it's all these rich kids who don't know how to take care of themselves. Her ex is there, like there's a bunch of other people, and basically they're like all one because they got like it was shipwrecked, so they don't have any of their luggage. They're like, it's kind of like at the beginning of Lost, where they're like going trying to get their luggage and like trying to figure out how to do food and water, and like some people are sick because they were injured from like the thing, and you know, some people she gets along with, some people she doesn't, and it's just kind of like trying to figure out who's a good person and who's not a good person on the island, because they're her friends in quotation marks, because she doesn't really know them that well, she's realizing. And so it's basically them trying to figure out how to survive, and then and also what happened, because they start to realize it's kind of strange that they're the only ones that survived, and none of the crew and the captain and no one else survived. And so that's where it starts to get like, oh, this is creepy. Oh, who can I trust? Oh, don't go off by yourself. Don't go off with just one person unless you trust them. And so she's really trying to figure out like who she trusts.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it's really good, and there's a lot of action because she's like a lot of actors have to train in their movies, and her movies are action. So she's actually like a tough person, and she knows how to fight, and so it comes in handy.
Oh, cool.
And it turns in there's not much romance, but there's just a lot of like action and her like being like a BA, you know what I mean? So I really enjoyed it. It was a really fast read for me.
Ooh.
And it's a standalone. The cover that I got is it's blue and it has castaways in like a sunset color, and then you see a ship going forward. But I really like the other cover was like a skull, which was really cool too. Skull
cool.
Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a really good read.
That.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
I
because
love island books.
and it's like I think you'd like it because there's like clues, and you have to like figure out like there's clues, but you're like, I know this is important, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then it's really interesting.
Oh my gosh, it sounds so good.
So I don't know if it's a thriller, it's like suspense or whatever, but I was like, this is the closest I've gotten.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read more. That's one of my goals is to read more thrillers and stuff like that, because I mean they go so fast. You just keep flipping through the pages.
That is the one I had like a phase this year where I read like 5 or 6 thrillers right in a row.
Yeah.
Because I love that. I love that feeling where you just can't put it down.
I had a phase this year where I read 30 romance books.
Oh my God.
I get hell bad. I get like all sappy, and I'm like, I just want to read more. And then I'm like, okay, I need to break this up with some violence.
Oh my God.
Let's read a fantasy. Or like, I really like when girls are like the BAs of the story. You know what I mean? I really enjoy that. Because I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Because I totally forget that like actors have to actually like know how to do that stuff.
Right, yeah.
So sometimes. Really interesting. Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes there's stunt doubles. So the next category is contemporary.
Yeah.
And what's contemporary?
So like books that are happening
now
in time.
She had to explain it to me. That's why I asked that question.
So, not historical, not like it's happening now.
Right now. What did you pick?
So I picked one, and this could be in other categories too.
Okay.
It's called Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson.
Oh yeah, I remember this one.
So it's a YA paranormal contemporary. So it's about Mila Flores and her best friend Riley. They like do everything together. They're inseparable, and they like to practice witchcraft.
Ooh.
Like Mila doesn't quite believe all of it, but she like does it because it makes Riley happy.
Yeah.
And Riley's really into it, so she does it. And so at their high school, 2 girls die, and everyone says it was suicide.
Oh wow.
Because of the way that they were found.
Uh-huh.
And then Riley dies.
And
Wait,
which one was Riley? Was the one that
the best friend, the one that likes the
witchcraft. Likes the witchcraft. Okay.
So she ends up dying.
No.
And everyone's saying the same thing, that it was suicide. And Mila's saying, there's no way. Riley would never do this.
Yeah.
Because they're all trying to say it was a suicide pact. And she's like, no. Like, Riley wasn't friends with these girls. There's no way.
She's my best friend. There's no way.
So she starts kind of looking into it.
Yeah.
And she looks into the witchcraft and stuff. And she tries to do this spell to raise her friend from the dead so she can figure out what happened to her. And in the process, she ends up raising the other 2 girls too.
Oh no.
So now Mila's got her best friend Riley undead and these other 2 girls, and she like she doesn't really control them, but she can feel everything they're feeling, or like hear their thoughts and stuff.
Really?
And she's got to be near them, otherwise they start like decaying and falling apart, and like
no way.
So it's like a really fun like girl book, but also, like Mila's got to deal with the death of her friend because it can't last forever.
No, yeah. And they also figure out what happened. It's also like a mystery aspect.
Yeah, so it's got a lot going on. It's so good. It's such a good like girl gang book.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called Undead Girl Gang. It's just so good. And the cover is one of my favorite covers of the whole year. It looks like a jean jacket with enamel pins on it.
Yeah.
And I want all of those enamel pins.
Yeah, I remember the marketing for it was really cool when that book came out.
And I think they did a giveaway where you could win a couple of those enamel pins. And I need them to come out with the enamel pins so I can buy them because I want them.
Give me them. I'm going to put them on my jean jacket because I'm a part of the Undead Girl Gang.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I'm going to have to add that to my TBR.
So what was your favorite contemporary?
So I picked Sadie by Courtney Summers.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I know we talked about
that's
this.
another thriller.
Is that really? Oh, I guess
kind
so.
of.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I just thought of it because it relates to like podcasts are so popular right now, and it's about like part of it's about a podcast. So I really wanted to put it to the contemporary. I know we talked about this before. Sadie is a missing girl out for revenge. Someone killed her little sister, and she wants to figure out how. And she's pretty tough for her age. I can't remember how old she is.
16 or 17.
16 or 17.
Yeah.
But, like, she does a lot, and she just goes out on her own. Like, they were abandoned. She was taking care of her younger sister when, she got killed, and so she feels responsible, and she's on a mission to go find out who killed her. And then the other part is West, who is a radio personality, and he does this podcast-esque thing about somebody else, and so people contact him about Sadie's story to be like, you could help find her, you could help figure this out before something happens to her, because she's out with no money trying to find this killer.
Right.
And it's so good, and the entire time both sides of the story, and you're waiting for other characters to catch up.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I remember like mentally shouting at the book, being because you want to like, just like the podcast that I listen to, I'm like mentally shouting, being like, I can see what you can't right now. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, because the way the story's told, like, you're with Sadie, like, back here when it all first started. And then you're with the podcast where Sadie's gone missing.
Yes.
And we're kind of getting to the point where they both converge, where they meet.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you're flipping through the pages because you're like, I need to see where they meet. I need to see what happens.
Exactly. And I just remember, like, because he's seeing stuff, and we already know kind of what happened, and it's like kind of frustrating. And I think that's what they wanted to do with the book, because things are unsolved, and it is frustrating, especially in the mystery podcast world, and nothing else fits perfectly. And you might think you know all the answers, but you're not completely sure. It's just, it was so good.
And there is a real podcast.
Yes, there is,
called The Girls. That's based on the book.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten to listen to it yet.
No, me either.
I really should.
I want more of
that
Sadie.
Book was so good.
I want more, and I don't think we're going to get more, but I want more.
Who was the author?
Courtney Summers.
That's right.
Sorry
so
if I
she
didn't say that
does
before.
such a good job of, like, the voice when she was telling Sadie's story, and then the voice when she was doing the podcast were completely different.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Even if they didn't have the title, the chapter headings, you would have known, because it was so well done.
It was so well done. And the cover is it says Sadie, and it has a girl like with the it's black, it's like a drawing, and there's hair blowing in her face, and she's wearing a bright red jacket. And I really recommend that everyone goes and reads this book, because it's one of those that you can't stop thinking about a little bit. And I'm just like,
I'm still thinking about it.
I'm frustrated about it, and it was so good, and I'm like, I want more.
What happened to Sadie?
Exactly. What happened to Sadie? The next category is memoir.
Yes.
What did you pick?
I only read one.
I only read one too. So,
so it has to be my favorite.
Yep, me too.
So it is My Squirrel Days by Ellie Kemper.
1 second. Why do you think it is that we don't read memoirs that much?
I don't know.
I think I have to really care about the person.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
And I think for some reason I really like to listen to the audio, the audiobooks of memoirs, if they're read by the person who wrote them, because they always add those little tidbits in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think, you're right. I have to really care about the person.
Yeah. I have to care about the person.
And be interested enough to read it.
Yeah. Because, like, I always say, like, I'll read any book if it has a story that holds my attention.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, a lot of memoirs aren't
stories.
One story.
They're multiple stories. And they're stories about that person. So, basically, they're, like, promoting themselves.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you enjoy me or want to learn about me, here we go. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so sorry. What did you pick?
So I read My Squirrel Days by Ellie Kemper. I think I might have talked about it a little bit on the podcast.
If not, you brought it up.
Yeah,
when we talked, because I remember wanting to read this book.
So if you don't know who she is, Ellie Kemper is Erin from The Office.
Yes, I love her.
The replacement receptionist after Pam moves on to office manager.
Yeah, all I think about is when he goes, scissors, and she throws scissors at Michael Scott, and
Pam's like,
Don't throw scissors.
So it is just like I said, like she just tells all these little stories about her life. Like some of the stories are about when she was a kid, and some are about when she's first starting in Hollywood, and some are about like her time on The Office.
Yeah.
And so she's got all these stories, and she's just got a really funny voice.
Yeah.
And she's super relatable. Like she says so many things that I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. Mm-hmm.
So it was just really good. And I saw a couple of reviews that were not that great.
Really?
But saying like, she's still young. She hasn't lived a lot. So why is she telling these stories? But I just think it's interesting to learn about these people's lives.
Yeah.
And again,
it's not
to
like
find out
it's not like this is my life. This is like, hey, this is what's going on now.
Right. These are some things that have happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just find it really interesting, especially because like we see celebrities as like not people
and not
sometimes.
Normal. Yeah. Not
and
human,
so
really.
To read stuff like this, you're like, they're just another person.
Yeah, it's just their job puts them in the spotlight more, but that's it.
Yeah. So it was really good. Like I said, it was really entertaining. And she's just funny.
I'm definitely going to have to read that.
She's hilarious. So what was your memoir that you read?
Mine was Unfiltered by Lily Collins. I love Lily Collins as an actress. I love all of the movies that she's in. One of my favorite movies is Stuck in Love, and she's in that.
Ooh.
And so I really wanted to read this because she just she's just a normal girl. So she's like normal things young women talk about, like body image, self-confidence, relationships, family, dating. And she's just bluntly honest about all of the things she's gone through, which was really refreshing. And I just kept thinking when I was reading it, I wish I read this when I was younger. Like she says so many things, and like, don't like, like heartbreak is going to happen, or like, listen to your gut. Like listen to yourself. Like if you know something's wrong, then something's wrong. Like don't let boys or whoever, like whatever sex you're attracted to, don't let them talk down to you and make you feel little. And it's just, I don't know, it's just like all these things I think young women should read, because she says the things that like I wish I would have heard.
Yeah.
It was so, I'll have to like post some stuff on my blog because I can't remember the highlights. I highlighted a bunch of stuff in the e-reader, but it was like a lot of quotes that I was like, yes. I kept like saying like, oh, I'm gonna have to remember that one.
Yeah. Sounds really good.
I can't remember. One of the quotes was like something like, I can't remember. If I remember them, I'll post them. But,
yeah. Sounds so good.
Yeah, though. It was inspiring, and I just really like to hear like all of her thoughts on things, because like, and I also got to know her on another level. I didn't realize she struggled with body issues. Like she's been struggling with body issues since she was like 12.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and like, just dealing with that, and like all of the things she had to deal with, like relationship wise and like dating wise, and it's so interesting. And how I remember she said she always drinks cold tea because she's like busy and forgets about it, and I never understood that until like we started being busy, and then I'm like, oh, my tea is cold. I'm gonna drink it anyway.
It's a story of my life. Or it gets cold, and then I put it in the microwave and warm it up, and then forget it's in the microwave, and then I come back and I'm like, oh yes,
yeah.
So I warm it up.
So
again.
it's like nice because she's our age and she does things like that, and she's like really into baking and all this stuff. I don't know. It was just really, I related to her more.
Yeah.
Just like, I guess I should have added. I don't know if I read that last year, but Anna Kendrick's book.
Oh yeah.
Like, and you also read it in their voice, like, and it just makes you relate to people so much more.
That one too.
You do. It's so fun. She's hilarious. Her Twitter, you can follow her on Twitter.
I do.
She's so funny on Twitter. I think she's just a hilarious person.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's who I picked for my memoir this year.
All right. So our next category is dystopian. Right?
Sequel.
Oh no. Okay, fine. We'll do sequel.
No, we can do dystopian. I don't want to talk about both. So
okay, let's do dystopian and then we'll do sequel.
All right, deal.
My bad. I skipped over that.
You're very excited to talk about your dystopian.
I guess I am.
So
okay, so my dystopian is actually also a sequel. So
you cheating again. Got it.
So it's also a sci-fi, but whatever. So it's called Plagueland Reborn. It's by Alex Scarrow.
Wait, time out. Go back. What does Squirrel Days cover look like? Because I've never seen it.
Oh, it's Ellie Kemper.
Okay.
Sitting,
it's her face?
And she's got, there's a squirrel in front of her.
Oh, my. Does it explain the squirrel?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was like, every time you say My Squirrel Days, I'm like, why? Lily Collins is a white picture, or a white background, and it's just a picture of her looking cute. Okay, continue.
Okay, so my, what is it, dystopian pick is Plagueland Reborn by Alex Scarrow. It is number 2 in the series. So this is the one where it's like sci-fi, dystopian, horror. So I'll talk about the first book because I don't want to spoil anything.
What's the first book?
So the first book is about, oh boy, what's his name? Leon. Leon lives with his mom and his little sister in England. His parents just got divorced. His mom's from England, and they lived there, I think, when he was born, and then they moved to the States where his dad is from. And since his parents just got divorced and they moved back to England, like, he's having a really hard time fitting in, and he's got this little sister who's like Miss Popular and whatever. So he's not having a good time. And then all of a sudden, I think they're on the train going somewhere, and or, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, news starts popping up about people getting sick. Ooh. And they see these like particles floating through the air. And the second anyone breathes them or they come near them, they are dying instantly and turning into a puddle.
Oh my gosh.
Dead.
Yeah.
And so it's like he and his mom and his sister trying to get somewhere safe to get away from all of this.
Yeah.
Because it's super infectious and it travels through the air and you can kind of see it, but like you can't get away from it. So yeah, it's him and his mom and his sister. And then like I think he gets a phone call from his dad, and his dad's like, just get somewhere safe, get out in the country, get away from everybody, and keep your mom and your sister safe. And it's this one didn't scare me, but there were a couple moments where I was like, this is creepy.
Really?
Because then I think you also get a few chapters that are like told from the plague's point of view, and it's super creepy. What? Because it's like got a mind of its own.
Oh, okay. I was
so the whole time you're like, where did this come from? Like,
what's the origin story?
It from outer space, or is it like
man-made?
Yeah. So this is number 2. I think they're originally published in the UK, and they're just now being published in the US.
Okay.
So I think all the books are out currently in the UK. But so it's good, and it just makes you feel like, ugh, it's terrifying.
Yeah,
that is really
terrifying.
Ugh. Yeah,
that sounds good. I'll have to read that one too.
Yeah,
sounds a little scary though.
Yeah, it is. Like like I said, it came close, but like once I shut the book and once I'm done, like it doesn't scare me at all.
Yeah. What does the covers look like?
Let me look. Okay, so it's just kind of like a barren. It's got like railroad tracks going off into the distance, and then just kind of like barren land.
Ooh,
nothing.
That sounds good.
Yeah, so what's your dystopian pick?
Mine was This Mortal Coil by Emily Savada. Probably butchered your name. I'm so sorry. And I mean, the cover is so pretty. It's a white background, and it looks like someone drew like that red chalk that like people do for like color runs. It's so pretty. It says This Mortal Coil. And I know I've talked about this series before, so I'll try to like not repeat. But it's Kat. She's a hacker. This is a dystopian that, people have tech in their arms, and there's a plague outside. So basically,
all these plagues.
Yeah, all the plagues. So it's in the air. Once you get infected, you'll know within 2 weeks, and then you become like, I think it's called like I can't remember what they're called. There's a nickname for them, but you bloat and then you explode. Then that's where the exploding red comes from, because that's the disease. And so you can't be around someone who's going to explode. And the only way to not get infected is to eat the flesh of someone who's exploded.
No.
Yeah. So she's all on her own. She has old tech in her arm, unlike everybody else, because she's allergic to new tech.
Oh, gosh.
So she's a hacker who's like trying to like, she does tests on herself, and she's basically, trying to find out like where her dad went and like all this stuff. She has a neighbor, an old lady who like she only communicates with, and like they keep track of like where the exploders are, because like she doesn't want to have to do that. And so it's just all about her trying to like survive. And then it also comes there's also like they have like a corporation that's bad, Cardax Cartaxus. It's Cartaxus.
Oh, okay.
And they're like the evil corporation that people think started this. And so basically soldiers Soldiers show up and she's like trying to evade them. It's like yeah, it's so
oh my gosh.
good. And then the second one comes around. That's This Cruel Design. And it just gets deeper and deeper, and you learn so much more about this world, and you know she's having to do new things to survive. It's so good. So yeah, I really recommend this book series.
Sounds good.
You need to read it.
I really do. I really do.
All right, sequels.
Yes, so my sequel pick is Vanity and Dust by Cheryl Lowe. No, I'm sorry. It's Detox and Letters. Vanity and Dust is the first book.
Yes.
Detox and Letters by Cheryl Lowe. So again, I'll talk about the first book because I don't want to spoil anything. But so Vanity and Dust, it is set in a world, like not Earth, completely different world. And all the people in it, like there's 3 tiers, whatever, that where they live. Like the first one is like where the castle is, where the queen lives. And then like, you know, the rich people live in the one around her. And then the less
like rings, would it be like rings or
yeah, I think they even call it like the middle or something like that. But anyway, and then the outside is where all the poor people live. So, but everyone in this world is like always doing dust, which is like a drug.
Okay.
And it's like in everything. It's in their tea. It's in all our food. Like they're always doing it, and that's all they do is like
the
party
rich people?
and and dust. And so you follow Von Drafen. He is the prince, and like I think I've talked about this on the podcast before too. Maybe this book, but anyway, so it's
I don't remember
one
dust.
of those worlds where. Everything is like really lush and all
okay. I remember you using lush.
Yeah, all the like food sounds really good and everything's like pretty on the surface, and then things are like really dark and not
pretty underneath.
Yeah, like not at all. And I think a lot of the people are starting to become aware of something going on.
Yeah.
And like not everything is as it seems. And they've always been told like there's nothing beyond that last ring.
Uh-huh.
And I think there is.
Yeah.
And like they don't have water. And so that's a thing that comes up too, is like what happens when they actually start drinking water that's not laced with dust.
Yeah.
And they, like I said, they just start becoming more aware of things and like what's really going on, who's controlling us, and how, like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
So good.
That sounds so good.
Such an immersive world. Ooh. And I love it.
What's the cover look like?
So the cover of the first one is Von Drafen sitting like at a tea.
Oh,
like,
okay.
There's like a tea set in front of him. What's the second one? Since that's the one I was supposed to be talking about. Detox and Letters. Oh, it's him again, and there's more tea, but he's in a different position. And what's interesting about these covers is the cover model is the author's husband.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it all about the prince then? Is he the main character? Or is there other characters?
There's other characters.
But he's the main one.
Yeah. He's also got a, what is she called? His, like, assistant, basically. Okay. And she's another main character. Yeah. She becomes even more like main character in the second book.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, my sequel, I just put Martina McKenny. So I read the third book of the Dead Things series. That is Deranged Angels and Cannibal Hearts.
Yeah.
And then I also actually read Loving You with Teeth and Claws because I hadn't read it yet. And that's like the 0.5 book.
Yeah, that's like a prequel.
Yeah, prequel. Which made me love the characters even more. And it was really nice to get the befores of a lot of people. And this is one of the series that really got me back into the Bookstagram world.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when you first showed it to me, that's what I started doing my Bookstagram and stuff like that. And I don't want to spoil anything. I think, have we talked about Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. So, I mean, the story continues in this one. I
haven't read this one.
Okay, I don't want to spoil anything. So, yeah, Children Should Play with Dead Things. There's werewolves. There's banshees. There's vampires,
what's
right?
Ember?
Ember is a
necromancer.
Necromancer. There's people who are kind of like death. I don't know who they transfer people over to the afterworld.
Reaper.
Yeah, Reaper. There we go. There's all these different characters in this immense world, and they're trying to figure out. Basically, there's this pack of all these different like kind of like misfits.
Yeah.
There's all different kinds of, there's fairies, there's everything in this pack, and no one likes that this pack is like this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically them trying to figure out the world around them, how to understand their magic, because they all kind of have a little bit of magic in them, how to control it, why they're like that, and it's such a good series.
It is.
And the next one's coming out soon, I hope.
It's a really good, like, found family series. Because that's one of the things that I really love in books is the found family.
Mm-hmm. I really like the intricacies of all of it. And, like, I've never read a book with all of these different things in it. It's like, it's all of them. This is the world where they all exist, but this is the group that they all exist together.
Yep.
And it kind of gives you, like, why they exist, how they got there, what's special about them. Because all of them have a little special trait that they don't realize they have, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
It's
good.
I really like that series, so I put it as my sequel. Woohoo! Woo. Dystopian. Nope, we already did that. You skipped. See, this is why you can't skip around.
I know, I didn't
I
mean
get confused. Okay, retellings. You go first, because I know I have this book. I haven't read it yet, though.
Yes, so it's called The Boneless Mercies by April Genevieve. I don't remember how to say it.
I remember we talked about this.
We looked it up.
Tecolche or something like that. Tecolt.
I don't remember.
Spell it.
Tucholke.
All right, that's how you spell it.
So it'll be in the show notes.
Yep.
I'm so sorry. She's got a pronunciation on her website.
She does.
I didn't have time to look it up. Okay, so The Boneless Mercies is a retelling of... Shoot. What is it called? Oh my god, I'm terrible at
You're
this.
looking at the person who hasn't read it. I mean, I own it. I remember the cover.
Beowulf. It's a retelling of Beowulf.
Beowulf.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a retelling of Beowulf.
Yeah.
It's about a group of mercies. They are women who travel around mercy killing people, basically. If you've got a family member who is dying or sick or whatever, they will come and, make death quick and
easy.
Yes.
Okay.
But Frey doesn't want to do this forever, and she kind of wants more out of life and more. She wants to be remembered, and so they hear about a monster that's just ravaging this town, and she convinces the other mercies to give up what they're doing and go and find this monster and kill it so that this town will be saved. And so that's what they do.
Oh, cool.
And it's really good, and the end is very unexpected.
Is it a standalone?
It is a standalone, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But it's just really good. And I mean, there is kind of a lot of violence. They kill people for a living.
Yeah, so.
But again, it has that found family. And it's just really, it's interesting. There's a lot of things happening.
Oh, we didn't talk about what the covers look like before. We've talked about,
Children shouldn't play with dead things.
I mean, I don't know how to describe those covers. So I mean, we've described them before.
They're intricate.
The imagery matches what's going on in the book. There's usually a figure, dark. There's usually a dark figure hanging or somewhere on the cover, and they're all different.
And then there's always a skull too, like a hidden skull in like the mist or clouds.
So what does Boneless Mercy's cover look like? I know really red and blue.
Yeah, it's red and blue. There's a wolf like howling. And then, like, the outline of the 4 girls in the book.
Oh, okay.
So,
I really want... Yeah, I didn't realize what it was about, but now I definitely really want to read it.
So good.
Well, I chose for my retelling A Blade So Black by L.L. McKinney. We talked about this in previous episodes, so I'll make it short. It's basically Alice in Wonderland retelling. She's lives... her name is Alice. She's real world... in Atlanta. She is just trying to deal with an overprotective mom, and she's
and dealing with her dad's death.
and dealing with her dad's death, and like dealing with the fact that she can go to, is it called Wonderland?
Maybe. I can't remember. Oh my gosh.
But she can go to this other world where these creatures, and she has to fight them because she has to protect the human world from them. And she meets her guide. I can't remember his name. This is good talk, Samantha.
Hada,
because it's Hada. And it's basically like her dealing with that. The mentor Hada gets poisoned, and she's just kind of like a BA, and she
fights nightmares.
Yeah, she fights nightmares, and she's definitely the opposite of an Alice that we're used to.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, she has courage and strength. It's really good. The cover is white. It has a what is that? Spade with her coming out of it, and there's paint splattering. It's really good.
And then did you know? So book 2. What is the release date? So book 2 is called A Dream So Dark. It doesn't come out until September next year, and they just released the cover. Are you looking at it?
Oh my god, I'm looking at it.
Oh, she looks so cool.
It's so cool.
Same girl, red background this time with the heart, and then she's in like a different
pose, and she's holding a giant sword.
Bleep.
Bleep. So yeah, that's what I chose. We both read it. It's such a good book. If you like Alice in Wonderland, only you wish Alice was more kick butt, then you should read it.
I like your movement, kick butt.
Yeah, I also did fist punching with that.
Kick butt.
All right, anthology.
So
you read the anthology that I wanted to read, and I got rejected.
So I read three different anthologies this year, but this one was my favorite. It's called Toil and Trouble, 15 Tales of Women in Witchcraft. It is edited by Tess Sharp and Jessica Spotswood, and then there's, 15 different authors that contributed to it. And there's not a lot to say about it other than it is 15 Tales of Women in Witchcraft. They're all
love that.
Witchy. They're all women-centric, women main characters, tough, whatever.
Yeah.
The stories are so good. There was one that really resonated with me, and it was a girl who lived with her family until she moved out to live with her boyfriend, and she stopped communicating with her family.
Okay.
And so the sister came over to see what was going on, and she could see that her sister wasn't happy, and she ended up coming home. She had to call her mom and have her mom come get her, and she finally told them the boyfriend wasn't what he used to be, and he was not nice to her. But anyway, that one there's a couple quotes that I saved from it that it just really resonated me. I just really connected with that story.
Yeah,
it was so good. But I didn't even mention any witchcraft in that. There was
I was
somewhere.
Where the witchcraft?
But either way, and that's the thing. You don't have to enjoy witchcraft to enjoy the stories. They're just really great stories.
And
about
the
women.
cover I remember was so beautiful.
Yeah, it's purple.
Yeah,
and it's got spider webs and other little things on it.
Yeah, cute little I don't
leaves
know, decorations.
And, like vines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I chose Fresh Ink. It's also by a ton of authors. It's from Crown Books for young readers. And it's basically, they partner with Weenie Diverse Books. It's 13 recognizable, diverse authors just coming together and telling 10 short stories. And they're all so gripping. I'd never read an anthology before, so I was unsure about it. I definitely waited till the last minute, and then I was why did I take so long to read this? And I know you've read this too.
Yep.
And I want to I'll just talk briefly. The cover it's black with spray paint of all the neon colors and all the authors on. Some people might know Nicola Yoon, Jason Reynolds, Melissa De La Cruz.
Yeah.
I mean, there's tons of authors. So the three that I fell in love with was Why I Learned to Cook by Sarah Farizan, Catch, Pull, and Drive by Skylar Baylor, and Superhuman by Nicola Yoon.
Yeah.
You remember Superhuman?
Those last two I remember as my two favorites.
Yeah. So Why I Learned to Cook, it's about this girl who is nervous about telling her grandmother that she likes girls. And it's just about her going about it in such a cute way, and realizing that her family loves her no matter what. And it's just they're just getting to know more about her. It doesn't change anything. Why I Learned to Cook was really Catch, Pull, and Release was about a swimmer who went through a transformation from he's transgender.
Transgender.
Yeah, transgender from So it's just going through that because he is a swimmer and he wants to continue and like, going from different locker rooms and like dealing with people's opinions. And it's so good.
Well, and when you're a swimmer, you're exposed.
Exactly.
And so it was like his feelings about being exposed like that.
But it was great because when he got in the water, he didn't feel that anymore. Yep. So it was like, it was worth it to like keep doing his passions and ignoring everybody else.
Yeah. And I think I saw that one's based on true like life experience from that author.
Yeah. I actually followed him on Instagram and he is amazing and he's still a swimmer and he just promotes like, LGBTQ plus and it's a really true story. And I think that's why I liked these is because they felt so real and you got to be in his shoes going through that and you were like, oh, like it was gripping. And then Superhuman by Nicole Yoon. I don't know why that one's stuck with me so much.
Yeah. I really like that one too.
It's about like, the climate of today and, in the Black communities, how they are being treated by police. And it's just, it made you think and it made you be in that position because we're not in that position as white Midwestern girls. And it just, it was so good.
Every story in that anthology makes you think.
Yeah, and it makes you. I liked it because it put me in a position where I've never been in before because I can't imagine that. It's like you need to walk in someone else's shoes. Yep. Here's 10 stories and so many shoes that you need to fill in and feel what it's like to be someone else. Yep. It was so good. So I cannot say good enough things about that book, and I think everyone should read it.
Yes.
All right, indie authors.
So if you don't know, an indie author is an independent author. They don't have a publisher of their own. They're publishing on them by themselves.
Yeah, which is
independently
crazy. Like, good for them. That just sounds like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work because, you have to hire an outside editor and you have to find someone to do your cover and...
It's a lot of work
and it's stuff.
Yeah, I mean, some people I could see like maybe they get to control everything, but it's nice to also have a second person there to be like, hey, this or that.
A team of people.
Exactly.
Yes. So my favorite indie author book this year that I read was The Goblin's Daughter by M.K. Sawyer. So she actually contacted me and asked if I would read and review her book. And as soon as I saw that it had goblins in it, I was like, okay, yes, I will do that. It's urban fantasy, but also kind of thriller-ish. I don't remember a lot of details, but I just know that there's goblins. And there's like maybe changeling thing happening, and it's just really good, and you should go read it. I'm gonna make it short and sweet because I don't want to tell too much. And
what's the cover like? I remember seeing the cover and being like,
it's got like a woman's face, but then also like foresty stuff.
Yeah.
It's so good. I'm just a sucker for goblin stories.
You love goblins.
I really do.
You've always loved goblins.
I blame The Labyrinth and David Bowie.
I finally watched the end of that thanks to you. I was like, that's the ending. Got it.
So good.
I picked Incognito by Siobhan Davis. She self-publishes all of her books, which is insane to me because she comes out with all these intricate stories. Like, oh my gosh, I want to see inside her brain. Incognito was really good. It was about a troubled pop star forced into hiding because people were breaking into his house and he had stalkers. And then a girl who's overcoming tragedy. And they both meet in Iowa at Iowa College. Isn't that neat? Yeah, so that's why I picked it.
It's crazy.
It's so crazy. And so it's Dakota and Sean, and it's a romance. And new adult. So, and there is some triggering things. But it's just, it won. I was like, Iowa? Heck yes. Like, they're like, oh, they both need to hide. Let's go to Iowa. I'm like, okay, rude. But I get
fair.
it. Yep, fair. So it's, I don't want to spoil too much. The cover is a shade of pink, and it's a couple, and there's Incognito, because they're both kind of, she's hiding from her past, and he's hiding from these people who want to, like, physically harm him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really good, and it's a standalone, but it also references people from her other books, her other standalones. Irresistible. So I thought that was kind of cool. They just make like a brief appearance. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of
cool.
Yeah. I was like, oh, hang on. I was like reading. I was like, hold on a second. They sound very familiar. And I was like thinking. I was like, oh yeah, all right. So that's my indie author. What's your debut author that you picked?
Okay, so debut author is
explain it.
A author with a brand new book, like a brand new author, first book published. I'm not explaining this well.
It makes sense in my brain.
So an author that published their first book.
Yeah, this is their first book. Here you go.
There we go.
On a platter.
Okay.
Here is my first book.
So my pick is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. This book is amazing. Everyone should read it. Like, go read it right now. What's
it about? So what's the genre?
So I read the arc of this way back in January. Like, I think it was the first book I read of the year.
Okay.
It's a young adult contemporary, but it's got magical realism.
Ooh,
which
what is that?
Which I kind of started to learn is like my favorite genre ever. So it's real world, everything's real, but there's this little thing and you're like, is that part of the real world or is it like in their head? Like what it's a little bit of magic and it's not really explained. You don't know like where the magic is coming from.
Interesting. Give me an example because
we read that Wolf Island.
Oh, Grey Wolf Island.
Yes, that's
it's like that where there's
realism.
okay, so it's like a little bit of magic, but you're like, is it real or is it not real?
Yeah, or is it in their head?
Yeah.
So The Astonishing Color of After.
That's also a very good book. You should read it.
Yes, it is. So trigger warning for suicide.
Okay.
So Lee, is like I think she's 16. She's half white and half Taiwanese.
Okay.
And her mother has been struggling with depression her entire life and kills herself. And so it happens and Lee is trying to deal with it and her dad is also trying to deal and trying to, figure out how to help her deal with it. And this bird appears to Lee, and she's convinced it's her mother.
Oh, okay.
And so somehow, and I can't remember exactly how it happens, but somehow because of the bird, it convinces her she needs to go to Taiwan and meet her mother's parents, meet her grandparents, and learn more about that side of her family.
Yeah.
So she does. She goes to Taiwan, and her grandparents only speak Taiwanese. If that's the language. I'm so sorry. But so they don't speak English.
Yeah.
And so she's learning about them and she's learning about her mother. And all the while, this bird keeps appearing and she keeps chasing it. And so it's her dealing with the death of her mother, but also like learning all this stuff about her family and her heritage. And then also she's an artist. And so everything is described in amazing color. And it's just so good. It's so good.
It sounds so good.
I can't believe that this is a debut book.
Yeah.
Because it's so well written. It will make you bawl. It's amazing.
What's the cover look like?
So it's like an ombre from like purple to red.
Oh, okay.
And then the bird in white. Yeah. It's so good. And she had such amazing like pre-order swag for it too. The author is an artist and she painted like a picture of the bird. And so we got prints of that for pre-order swag.
That's awesome.
And, I'm just like so in love with this book.
Oh, it sounds so
I would read it again.
I don't want to cry, but I want to read it.
So good.
The book I picked for a debut author is, the author I picked is Rhonda Belleza. And, and Empress of a Thousand Skies is the first book. And so I was part of Penguin blog tour for this book. And they actually sent me both of the books. It was for Blood of a Thousand Stars. But I thought that was amazing.
That's the second one, right?
Yeah, that's the second one. So the first one is a purple cover, and it has like a purple-blue galaxy behind it, and then there's the moon, and it looks like the sun is coming out from behind it, so like an eclipse. It says
and also, did you know there's a face in it or a head?
Oh my god, I never even saw that face.
It took me a long time before I saw that, because I think I got that in like an owl crate, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Blood of a Thousand Stars is, okay, I see the face now.
Right?
I never saw that.
I know.
How many times have I taken pictures of this book?
I know. It's crazy.
That's crazy. So it's about Crown Princess Rhiannon, T-A apostrophe A-N. I don't know how to say that. She's... I'm blanking, but basically she is trying to figure out who killed her family, and she's in hiding because they want to kill her, and she's supposed to be the queen. She's supposed to be the princess, and she's trying to, like, they've been teaching her how to battle, but then all of a sudden people find out because her family all died and everyone thought she died, but she didn't. And so they're hiding her away. And then someone finds out that she's alive. And so now she has a bounty on her head. And now she doesn't know who to trust.
Oh,
and it's out. My hand. But it's so good. And it's also about this other guy who's like a war hero. And he's in this he's like now a star of this like reality TV show. Mm-hmm. And they collide, and that it's like, oh god, it's so good. It's such a good series. It's YA, it's science fiction fantasy. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed it, and I don't want to spoil what happens, but it's really interesting, and you find out who she can trust, and it sounds so good. And what I liked is Rhonda put the galaxy in the front, mm-hmm. so you get to see where the planets are, and when they're talking about a planet and what's a good planet, or what's like on the where like it's native, or you know what I mean? Yeah. You get to see where all the planets are, and she describes all the planets so well. Okay. So like they all have different worlds, and she's traveling between them, and it's so good.
Is that the Map Monday picture you posted this week?
Yeah, that's the Map Monday picture I posted this week. Because I was like, it's not a map, but it's also I
didn't realize I had a map in it. I have a copy of that book.
It's so good. I really appreciate it because when she was talking about the planets, in size, and in like, you get to see like relatively like where they're all at, mm-hmm. and like some are in alliance together. It's really good.
Sounds so good.
So good. Next,
I think we should do graphic novel next because
I agree.
Okay, all right. So
because mine doesn't really count. So
well, yeah. Anyway, so graphic novel. My favorite. Let me find it so I can refresh my memory.
And a graphic novel, obviously, like it's pictures in a book as well as a story.
Like a comic book.
Yeah.
But now we're calling them graphic novels because it's more novel than it is
graphic.
Comic.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so my favorite was called The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. She's an amazing artist. I know she's illustrated a lot of things, and I think she's written a lot of other things too, but The Prince and the Dressmaker is such a sweet story. So it starts out, the prince, his parents want him to find a bride, mm-hmm. and he doesn't have time for that because he's got a big secret. And then, the girl in the story, what is her name? Frances? Anyway, she's a dressmaker, and she gets called on to start making dresses for this person, Lady Crystalia. Mm-hmm. And what she finds out is Lady Crystalia and the prince are the same person. He likes to, at night, and when his parents don't know, he likes to dress up in beautiful dresses and go out, and he's Lady Crystalia.
So he likes drag.
Yeah, but nobody knows it's him.
Yeah.
And they become best friends, and she just designs all these dresses for him, and it's so sweet and amazing, and it's just like it's the most heartwarming book ever. It's so good.
It does sound really good.
It's so good. And then, like I said, she's such an amazing illustrator. Like, all the dresses are beautiful, and it's lovely. Oh. It's just one of those, like, really feel-good books. Yeah. I love it.
That you need sometimes after all the dark stuff we did.
Yes.
Well, I haven't really read a graphic novel this year, so I picked The Art of Rick and Morty. You gave it to me for Christmas, and it shows, like, the character development from, Justin Roiland. Is that how you say his name?
I think so.
And then James Silas, I'm going to butcher your name, Siciliano.
Okay.
And it's just basically like where the characters came from. I'm obsessed with Rick and Morty. Mm-hmm. I love watching the episodes over and over again, and realizing the meaning behind all of them, and the deeper story that they're trying to tell.
Yeah.
And it just kind of shows the character development. It has like little like drawings and pictures from when they first started, and how they like thought of all the things, and it shows like all the Mortys and all the Ricks. It's so good. I've actually read the whole thing, so I know like little bits about characters that people don't know, so I love to just add those in. That's
so cool.
So thanks for getting me that. I really love it. And so that is my only, I mean, it's not a graphic novel, but it's like close enough. All right.
Right.
So our last category is found authors.
Right. So this is like authors that are new to us that we're really excited to read more of their stuff.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So I, of course, picked Jennifer L. Armentrout because after reading The Darkest Star, I'm like, I got to go back and
My
read.
arms are up in the air and I'm cheering.
I have to go back and read everything and find out all the backstory. And so good. She's so good at like weaving a story.
Exactly. And hearing all like the different parts of it and the whole world she's built. I love it. I agree.
Oh, good.
So who I picked was Jody Larson. We met her at North Iowa Book Bash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm the member. So I remember. So here's how it happened. They were giving away awards. We weren't really paying attention because we were still walking around looking at books. And I picked up Serenading the Shadows. And she had her book stand, and she's like, oh, it's a rock star series. So like each person in the band has a book. And I was like, okay. And so I was like, which one's your favorite? So she said Serenading Shadows. So I read it and I was like, ooh, this sounds so good. And so I grabbed another one. And then you're like, are you buying all those? And I said, yes, I am, because I can't make a decision because they all sound so good, and it's called.
And you love series like that.
I love
that
series that are intertwined. I can't help it. I love all of the juicy bits, because in my opinion, the character never ends. So I really enjoy that. So it's the Lightning Strike series. I think that's the band name. It's Serenading the Shadows, Notes of the Past, Forbidden Lyrics, and Downbeat. Downbeat just came out, and I pre-ordered it.
Oh,
and now I have it. So I have the whole series. I don't know if there's going to be any more because there's only 4 people in the band. But there also are side characters that you kind of know about. So I'm hoping that maybe she'll go off and do that. But yeah, I really enjoyed meeting her. I think she's going to be at North Iowa Book Bash again this year.
Oh,
so I'm going to have to be like, okay, so I bought all of your books. Now what?
Yeah.
You gonna give me some more? What's next? Tell me.
And then you're gonna have to get all the candles because she also has.
I know, she had the candles, and she gave one with the book series, and I was like, well, now, and I can't find them online. She said they're online. I can't find them, so I'm gonna have to
book boyfriend candles. I think because they're not her candles.
They're not her
she
candles.
Had them made for.
Yeah, but the website is very. Like, it's just, you have to scroll through them. You can't, like, search.
Okay.
And so I was just like, well, how about I just wait and buy them from her when we see her next? But yeah, it's a really good series. It's romance. It's basically these guys are in a band and they didn't realize they were in a band at a young age, and they're all friends, and they didn't realize, like, hey, fame comes with, notoriety, and it's them kind of figuring out how to have a love life with notoriety in a lot of them. So yeah, it's really good. I am obsessed. Okay. I would say this is the part where we're going to kind of do lightning round of like our favorite things this year, because we've already been podcasting for almost 2 hours. So I knew this one was going to be a long one.
2018 was a long year.
Yeah, guys, we had a lot of things happen. Okay, so mailbag item. I made you pick what was your favorite mailbag item.
So hard.
So I mean, did you count like what you got, what you received, or what you bought? Like I kind of what I.
Yeah, I try to like look through like my Instagram to see all the things that I got.
Oh, that's what you're doing. You're like, oh my god, look at this.
Yeah. So
I picked Kara Kozik mug. I got a couple this year, and she's an artist, and she's absolutely amazing. She partners with Owlcrate a lot, and I enjoy her Harry Potter art so much. So I picked her because I love her mugs. If you buy one, don't drink out of it. It's supposed to just be an art piece, okay? Because I saw these girls like broke theirs, and I was like, you don't touch it, okay? It's beautiful.
It sits on your shelf and it looks pretty.
Exactly. What'd you pick?
So I picked the Children of Blood and Bone arc that I got.
Yeah.
That book is by Tomi Adeyemi. It's another amazing fantasy. It's got a sequel coming out next year. But so when they sent, because a lot of times for certain books, publishers send out the arcs in like special, I don't know, like promotional boxes.
Promotional boxes.
And this box was amazing. Like, it wasn't just a cardboard box. It was a box where the top of it looked like the book cover, and it had like designs on all sides, and it was like a magnet flap that came up.
Oh wow!
Like, it was an amazing, because I remember seeing it on other people's like stories, and I was like, oh, I'm so jealous. I want to read that book. I can't believe they got this like amazing thing. And then it came in the mail. I was like, what? How did I get this?
I'm gonna keep it forever.
How did this happen to me? So anyway, that was my favorite thing.
I like it. Okay, favorite movie.
Okay.
I picked Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald because Grindelwald, as some people say. Did you know that?
Yeah, the W is a V.
No.
Isn't that like a German thing?
It's yeah, but so people in Britain apparently, like I was watching things about the cast, and the British cast called it Grindelwald, and the American cast called it Grindelwald. It was just
interesting.
It's an argument between all of them. It's really funny. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm a big Harry Potter fan.
Yeah.
And so I just enjoy it because there's so many things we're learning, and I'm blanking on her name. J.K. Rowling. She's like writing this, so you know that it's going to be just so good. And so this one, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was the first one. This is the second. So this was everyone wasn't as impressed, but it's leading up. Like it's like the other books in Harry Potter.
Is there going to be 3?
It's going to be 3.
So that's what a lot of people say about like trilogies, though, is like the first one's great, the second one is just getting you to the third one.
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh, I'm disappointed. I'm like, but if you are watching them in 3s, like that's like the Lord of the Rings. Like the second one, it's like meh, you know. I mean, I love the second one. Don't get me wrong, that's actually my favorite. But I watched it in a trilogy.
Right.
Like I'm saying that like when you to a lot of people who didn't like it, I'm like, watch it again when there's 3 of them, and you're gonna love it because it's building up and you're getting all this character development. And there's a lot of character development that happens here. It basically draws a line between good and evil of all your favorite characters from the first book. So a lot of your favorite characters that you didn't realize were going to be evil are evil.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? And a lot of them that you didn't think were going to be good are good. So it's like, it's so good. So I picked that, and I have to give a shout out to the Super Carlin brothers, because they are the ones that like deep dive into these movies, and they explain things that I wouldn't understand. So that's where I get all like my Harry Potter knowledge is from them, because they like watch it over and over again, and they like look up like on Pottermore, they look up all this stuff. They look up the meanings of like people's names, and like that's how they connect it to like.
Holy cow.
Oh, it's so interesting. You really need to like watch their videos. It's like, wow, they do so much research into this.
That's crazy.
So that's my favorite.
So mine was To All the Boys I Loved Before.
Yes, that was a close second for me.
It was so adorable. So right around the time that they announced the movie, or when it got a date, I don't know. Anyway, so I heard that the movie was coming, and I was like, well, I need to read the books, because I've got all 3 of them.
And I've been saying that for a while.
We met Jenny Han, like, it's time. So I took a weekend, and I binged all 3, and I don't regret anything, because then I got to watch the movie, and it's so cute.
It's so cute. The whole series is so cute, and the movie is so cute.
It's the most adorable thing in the world.
And the movie is so accurate, because Jenny Han got to be a part of it. Like, I'm so glad that she waited to be a part of it, and like that was Netflix let her.
Like, one of the best things is like watching her, because she would post on her Instagram stories when she was on set with the girls, and she gave them each, all the like the girls that played the sister, she gave them each a little necklace, and it was just the sweetest.
But it was like it was so good. Like, it was so accurate. All the characters were so accurate. All the things that happened. It was just, it was like one of those things where it's like, you brought the book to life.
I can't think of his name. The boyfriend, the love interest. I can't think of his name, but he's adorable.
He is adorable. I don't know how old he is. We have to say adorable, because I don't know how old he is.
I remember when I first saw the casting, I was like, that's not what I pictured as this character. No. And then I saw the movie, and I was like, I think that's his real name, yeah.
Yeah, his real name, sorry.
But yeah, so I didn't see him as that character at all. And then I watched the movie, I was like, there's no one else that could play him. He's perfect.
Exactly.
So it's adorable.
Yeah. Okay, favorite TV show? I picked Sabrina on Netflix, because I really haven't, with all the reading we do, I don't really watch TV shows as much as I used to. I just like to rewatch like Parks and Rec, The Office. Yeah. Parks and Rec, The Office.
I like to rewatch things.
Yeah, I like to rewatch old things like Rick and Morty and Bob's Burgers. So I picked Sabrina on Netflix because I can't remember what the whole thing. I think it's Sabrina
Shoot.
Anyway, it's so I just enjoy that world, because it's kind of like the same world as
Martina.
No.
Oh.
It has Cole Sprouse in it.
Oh yeah, it's Riverdale.
Riverdale. It's the same world, because they have different. They dress like a different time, but they have technology, because it's like this whole new. They don't ever say a time. Right. Anyway, it's so good. There's a Christmas special coming out.
Yes.
So I need to finish the series and then watch the Christmas special. But it's so true to like all my feels of the old Sabrina, but like adding a new mix to it. A dark mix, which we all love a dark mix here.
Yes.
So yeah, that's my favorite.
So mine was House on Haunted Hill. No.
Also on Netflix.
Is that what it's called? The Haunting of Hill House. Oh
That's
my
what you
gosh.
told me. I wrote it down.
What I told you. It's The Haunting of Hill House. I am so sorry.
And they're both on Netflix, so Netflix is killing it this year.
Right? It was creepy, but I didn't think it was that scary. My husband does not enjoy ghosts.
Yes, throw him.
He was terrified.
Spill that tea.
Oh my gosh. We could only watch one episode a night. and we had to take a lot of breaks in between. And we even got to a point where he was like, I'm not watching it anymore. And I was like, I need to see the end. So you need to go somewhere so I can watch this.
Yeah.
And I'll watch it by myself. And finally he gave in and we watched the whole thing. Because it is creepy. I mean, there's ghosts. There's ghosts everywhere in that series. But when you get to the end and you find out what's going on, like, it's not creepy anymore.
Yeah. And so I didn't get a chance to watch it. And the like paranormal stuff doesn't freak me out as much as like real stuff. So I watched a Netflix or a YouTube video. It was like Haunting of Hill House in 13 minutes, and they explained everything that happened. So
you cheater!
I cheated.
You need to watch it.
For scary movies, I always go to the wiki and just read about them.
Gosh, you need to go watch it. It's so good.
I just don't like scary stuff.
It's not scary.
And then the last thing, since we already talked about the teas, we picked those for our teas to drink today.
Yes.
Memories of 2018.
Yeah.
A couple that came to mind were New York.
Yes.
We got to go to New York. We traveled by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
First time for me ever. I think you've traveled.
It was the first time I've flown a plane since I was in the third. You've flown a plane?
I was like, I didn't know you were flying the plane.
Thank God I wasn't. Flown on a plane since I was in the third grade.
Yeah.
That first flight
was
the worst.
Guys, I
ever.
didn't think I was going to get her on the second plane. I thought we were going to stay in Chicago. I was like, come on. I promise
it was awful. Like,
it was
a good
bad.
thing that our stewardess was amazing and we got wine, because I don't think I would have survived the flight without the wine.
Well, I wasn't nervous, but it also was the worst flight I've ever been on too. So.
It was, the turbulence was terrible.
Was bad. We were dropping out of the air
the whole way.
The entire
Thankfully,
time.
it was only, it was less than an hour, like 45
less than
minutes.
An hour.
But, I mean, we brought books and we brought movies, and there was no way we could focus on anything.
Oh,
on
God,
that
no. And it doesn't help that we didn't get to sit next to each other.
No,
which we should have
because
moved.
the plane was so tiny.
It was so tiny. I didn't get a picture because
there was like seat, aisle, 2 seats.
And I didn't get nervous because this guy in front of us, I was laughing, he was watching Judge Judy. So out of all of the shows that you could preload onto your iPad, you're like, you know what? Judge Judy. So I was laughing about that. But the only time I got scared is when he turned off his iPad and started looking around, and he was grabbing a chair because he looked like a seasoned flyer.
Yeah. And
he was like used to it. And then towards the end, he was like, what is happening?
Yeah. And then when we got to New York, I realized I had a bruise across the back of my leg from like clenching onto the seat.
And I had a bruise from the seatbelt because I was like holding on. I tightened it so tight.
So the flight was crazy, but New York was amazing.
New York was so amazing, and we want to do another podcast just about New York.
Yes. So we won't go into too much, but I do want to say, like, being from the Midwest and tiny towns and whatever, like, we've been told and we've been, like, led to believe our whole lives that, like, this big city is going to be scary.
Mm-hmm. And danger, watch out. No.
Like, not at all. Like, I feel like that's such a, like, naive thing.
It's a very Midwest thing.
Yeah.
I'm completely honest. It's a completely different world out here. We are told, big, scary, and, and I agree. Like, you have to be careful as a woman. Yeah. But that's anywhere.
Right, exactly.
So, as long as we're cautious and we take care of ourselves and we're smart, which, we are, it was a great experience. It was, I can't even imagine, like, it's so, from people who have never been to a big city, like, seeing those skyscrapers and seeing everything for the first time. Like, I remember when we got there, we just stared out our window.
We did. Half an hour. It was foggy when we got there, so we couldn't see the tops of buildings.
Like, all of a sudden, we were sitting next to this girl, and it was like, oh, we're landing? And it's like, oh, yeah, because it was so foggy.
Because all of a sudden, there was water. And I was like, oh my God, is that water? Oh my God, we're landing.
Yeah, and they're like, did you get to see anything? It's like, no, it's foggy. But it was cool. Like, but it was really good. And then I thought starting this podcast, mushy, but
it is.
It's something we've talked about for so long. Like, we talked, like, what can we do together that, because we both enjoy so many things that we both sit here. I kid you not, if this podcast wasn't a thing, we would still be sitting here talking about all this stuff. It annoys our mothers. It annoys our significant others. It annoys everybody, because when this podcast isn't happening, this is still happening. We still sit on her kitchen floor and go and talk about books for hours.
It's just a lot less structured.
Yes. If we thought about doing like a wine episode, maybe we'll do that and just explain, like, just go off on tangents, because that's what it's like. It's just
there's no
topic
through line. It's just
it's probably hard to understand because we like.
It is hard to understand. That's why our mothers get so crazy when we're together.
Yeah, I remember the last time your mom sat next to us and tried to understand what's going on. But see, we've read so many books, and we don't have to like explain things to each other. And so finally, she just like shook her head and got moved away. Like, sorry.
So this has been a long time coming.
Yeah. So now we try to organize. We have to have a sheet of organization, or else
keep us on track.
You can tell we get off topic a little bit.
A
little bit. So, says the 2-hour podcast. I don't think there's any other memories that come to mind. I mean, obviously, like,
it's been a long
book world,
year, man.
Yeah, it's been a long year. A lot of reading. And a lot of, we're planning new adventures for next year. So I'll be fun. Take you guys with us.
Yeah, we're planning a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's just so many things happening right now.
We're talking. There's a lot of things.
To keep up.
There's a lot of things that we've got going on. And we haven't started really planning for 2019. So I say, like, the one thing, give us suggestions.
Yes, get in the group.
Yes, get in the group. And then also tweet, Instagram, tag us and stuff. If you see ideas that you think, oh, this would be great you talk about, or a book or author we need to read.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to be doing some more games. We're going to be doing some more. We might start introducing guests. We don't know. We're just kind of winging this. And we just want you guys to, like, enjoy books and as much as we do.
Yeah.
We just get to sit and talk at you for 2 hours about books, and you have to listen. All right, well, we better get going. We've got more tea to drink and books to read. Remember that this is our last episode. There will not be an episode next week, so have a happy new year. You can find us on all of our social medias, Our Life in Books _ on Twitter and Instagram.
Yep.
And the Facebook group is Our Life in Books. Search it on Facebook. Yep. You can like the page, and I think you can find the group that way as well.
Yeah, you should be able to. Yep.
And we can put that in our link tree.
Yeah.
For people. My social media is Samantha McCombs on Twitter and my blog, and my Instagram is Bookish State of Mind.
You can find me at Bookish Connoisseur on Instagram, and that is also my blog. And then my Twitter is Bookish Buff.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next year.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.